Hey, welcome back. I hope you are well. This week I had to set up a whole lot of stuff before we started today. All because I wanted to show you these toys from the 2009 Star Trek movie from Burger King. We have Dr. McCoy here in ridiculous proportions. And you press this little button on the back of his head.
I'm a doctor, not a physicist.
And he says, I'm a doctor, not a physicist, I think.
I'm a doctor, not a physicist.
Because that's something he says. And then here's another one. It's Sulu from the same movie, from Burger King, who's holding out his hand asking for money. You also press the button on the back of his head, and he says, Warp 3, sir. So if you want, you can get the two of them together and just annoy the crap out of people by going, So obviously this isn't actually what this video is about. This video is about the complete and total screw up of the 2009 Playmates toy line for the 2009 Star Trek movie. First was this playset. In case you're not able to tell in the video, that's a vinyl mat laying there, and you just you look at the bottom, it says B1 on the stations that you have bought, what came with figures, and you find where it says B1 on the mat, and you set that there, and you put the chair there, and you do that with the stations. Now, of course, as you might notice, where there's stations missing from all over the ship. And that's because they didn't make the rest of them. Because there was a screw up in the line as far as most fans were concerned. And they never finished making them. Well, why were fans... why did fans consider it a screw up? Well, because for one, they made the line in 3.5-inch scale. Let me grab Captain Kirk here. This is the Captain Kirk figure. He's got a phaser there in his hand. And while honestly the figures are fine, the sculpts are fine, it's the fact that they didn't match up with the older figures. That combined with the fact that they also made a 6-inch scale, and the joints are all funky weird on these. They don't pivot properly. It's kind of annoying. So yeah, and so here, I'll just pull this chair out to show you him sitting there. So yeah, then they took and they did things like they were going to have some of the figures in the regular uniform and some of them in the cadet uniforms, because they were in cadet uniforms for part of the movie. Kind of like the Dr. McCoy figure here, who was in the cadet uniform for a portion of the movie. Or Chekhov, who never wore this in the movie. And so things like that kind of annoyed the fans. And then when this playset came out, I mean, there's some nice things about it. The work on the center section for the command chair is actually quite nice. I'm just going to push those out of the way. We're going to turn this around to get a better look at it. It's actually pretty nice. You can, we'll put Kirk there. We've got Chekhov, and I have a Sulu somewhere. There he is. Again, the articulation is really awkward on these. So yeah, you can get your crew put in place. But then they have this really weird vinyl mat that they have to traipse around on. But I mean, honestly, I do like the set. It's this part itself. It's got his legs. Look at this. That leg will not stay up. I don't know why. So here we got Scotty here. Yeah, here his legs stay up in place. Well, his knees bend. There we go. Okay, we're gonna put Scotty at the navigation console. But yeah, I mean, you've actually got some really nice detailing on here, but they only made it this one little section piece. The view screen, again, it's actually like, and there's these two side screen piece things, which have some pretty cool details in them. And the view screen is actually not too bad. It's a little fragile, but it does have the transparent thing. Like if I move them behind there, you can kind of see through it a little bit. Kind of the way it was in the movie where you could see out like it was a window kind of thing into space. So yeah, this is it. I'm gonna give you a chance to take a look at all the figures a little closer up. We're gonna push the bridge is done. We're done with the bridge. So let's start with, well, there's Captain Pike, who was in the first two films. This barely looks like Barry Jenner, is that his name? I think I'm drawing a blank. Who played Captain Pike in the first two films. I will say one thing that's odd is the pants almost look brown on a lot of these figures, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if it's faded or if that's how they actually did it. I mean, the fact that the feet rotate, all the joints actually rotate, which is kind of part of the problem, is because if they get rotated in the wrong direction, they won't bend the right direction. And the arms, nobody's arms will actually go more than about that far. But so yeah, that's Captain Pike. You've got Captain Kirk, who I showed you a moment ago. The sculpt on this one's a little bit better, but it's still kind of soft. There's Scotty. This one's much more recognizable. That definitely looks like Simon Pegg. Here's Sulu. Again, pretty decent sculpt. A little soft on the details. Here's that Chekhov figure with his leg that won't stay up. That's annoying. This is a much better sculpt. He's got some gunk on his face there. Oh well. This is a much better sculpt. The hair on this one's actually quite nice. It actually looks like Anton Yelchin. Then we have Uhura, which, first of all, her arms are just straight. They don't bend any other direction. But her legs, they do bend, but her skirt is such a hard rubber that she can't do anything other than this, which almost makes the fact that her knees are able to articulate kind of pointless. Sculpt of the head's pretty good. The hair has actually got some pretty nice detail to it as well. Then there's the movie's bad guy, Nero. You can't really go wrong with a bald guy, because then it's just about getting the tattoos right. This one, his jacket is actually soft enough that you can manipulate having him be able to sit and that kind of thing, although they never came out with anything for him to do. No ship, no set, no nothing. And then the last figure we've got is Spock. The elder Ambassador Spock. from the future who traveled back in time. He's got his hand in the Live Long and Prosper. This is a mostly good sculpt of Leonard Nimoy. Again, it's got the problem with the size that it's kind of soft on the details, but it's pretty decent overall. Again, they've given him hip articulation, but it doesn't mean anything because they've given his robe is made way too stiff for it to mean anything, especially for his left leg. His right leg can do a little bit, but yeah. So we're going to do a jump cut and come back to the other part of this. Sorry, I just realized, totally forgot about young Spock. Yeah, there's the young Spock figure, the only person in blue in this entire set, and similar problems. He's actually able to sit really well. The sculpt's pretty decent, does look mostly like Zachary Quinto, but yeah. Is he the same size? Yep, he's the same size. Good. Okay, we're gonna jump cut, and I'll be right back with the rest of it. Alright, welcome back. So, again, we have a vinyl mat. This is the Transporter Room playset. So, I'm honestly not sure if this is how it's supposed to be positioned, or it looks like it should work like that. That's a good one. So we're gonna take, and you know what? I didn't even check this part. I don't know how that. Okay, we're gonna put Scotty over here in the driver's seat for the transporter, and then we're gonna get Spock. The Spock is gonna get beamed out of here in just a minute, and the way we do that is we position him right there, and then we make sure that we're turned on. Okay, we take this cylinder. We're gonna slide Spock right down inside until we hear it click. It's gonna click. There, it clicked. Alright, can't really see at the moment. Now, I wonder if... Oh, check that out. So this lights up. The inside of the tube lights up. We can see Spock. And, oh. Okay, so now we're gonna have Scotty beam him out. And then he beamed back. Okay, let's beam him out again. Let's see if we can watch this closer. And then what you do is to get him to the planet is you grab this whole thing, and look at that. He's no longer on the pad. Oh my God. And then you bring him over here, and you push the button again, and he reappears. And then you press these two buttons, and he comes out. It's magic or something. So, yeah, magic. It's a magic tube, a magic transporter tube. I don't know how well that really shows up on the screen, on the camera. Yeah, and that's how you then transport him back. And when you get him back on the transporter pad, you press the button, or you do like that, and he beams back. And then you just press these two buttons and he falls out because he's drunk now. So the way that part of that trick where it's got this little foot pad that you put Spock on or whoever. The set actually has two configurations. You can take and pop these three pieces of the transporter out, put this, sorry, if you're wearing headphones, don't, too late. And yeah, then this slides on there, and this is the other configuration for the transporter to also do its lights and sounds and effects. Overall, it's a fairly decent gimmicky toy. It actually looks better in this configuration because it actually has a sort of a space to it, and you don't need this ridiculous vinyl mat. But yeah, it's kind of cool that and the control panel comes off as well, so you can actually break it all down, and if you want, it'll break all down like that. You can then just have a solitary transport pad. So that's about it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Got to see how the 2009 Star Trek Playmates toy line was for the 3.5-inch figures. I am disappointed, but I will say thank you and see you next time.